What's up, Auburn? You're listening to Live with DJP on WEGL. For the next hour, my friends and I will be talking about life, music, and whatever else comes to mind. Make sure to tune in every Wednesday at 7 p.m. right here on 91.1. Now get ready for some live stories, live emotions, live with DJP. Enjoy the show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Live with DJP and Friends, episode number 30. Today's Wednesday, January 27th, 2021. Got it right that time. Joining me in the studio today, making her second appearance on the show, Mary Frances Garner. Say what's up.
What's up, y'all?
And I can't forget about the SGA candidate, fellow Camp War Eagle counselor, head Camp War Eagle counselor. What do you not do, Tyler Ward?
Stop loving you, JP.
Is there anything that you can't do, like, for real?
No.
Is there anything? Do you remember over the summer, what was the place that we went to off North College? It's like the nature preserve place.
Creer, I think Nature Preserve, something like that.
Do you remember whenever we were walking around in the woods, and I think Chloe or Blair asked us, so, like, what makes you a triple threat? Like, we were all trying to figure it out. And I remember what I said. I was like, I mean, I like to play the guitar. I like to talk on the radio. I like to do a lot of things. Does that just make me a threat?
I know. And they were like, pretty much. Pretty much so.
Could you name 3 things that you're best at off the top of your head? Just throwing it out there. What you got?
I got being myself. I do that for 1. Messing up. I do that for 2. Loving people well. I do that for 3. I think
that's beautiful.
I'm good at being myself. It's taken a little bit of time, but I think I've improved.
It does take a while.
Right?
To get comfortable in your own skin.
Oh, my gosh. But, like, when I think about it and I talk to people about it all the time, like, I'm thankful that it hasn't taken me as long as some people. Like, some people die never being themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, thank God I don't have to go through that. But the second thing is probably making mistakes because I just mess up in so many capacities in so many different ways. Like, for example, we have to clock in for work online.
Mm-hmm.
I forget every single time. Like, I have to email the lady every single time. And it's like, I really don't know why I don't remember. It's literally just, it takes 12 seconds to clock in. Like,
yeah. I mean, everyone makes mistakes. You got to get something wrong before you can get it right.
Right.
I feel like it's almost impossible to get something right on the first try. Like, there's got to be some kind of, like, small mistake that gets made whenever you are on the way to getting it right. That's kind of what's nice about starting something fresh, though, is like it's okay if you mess something up because you're just on your way up.
And I think that's probably why creating things is my favorite, too, because you can't really mess it up. Like, when you do it first, who's going to tell you how to do it right or wrong?
Ooh, I love that. Yeah.
Wait, say that one more time? What was that?
If you do it first, no one can tell you if you did it right or if you did it wrong. Like, you're setting the boundaries, you're setting everything for yourself. Like, if you mess up, who's going to tell you that you did?
Can't tell me nothing.
You can't tell them nothing.
Boy. Sorry.
Coming
up with, like, new ideas and such.
That's it. Like, that's why I encourage everybody to just do it their own way. Like, when I played baseball when I was, like, super little.
Back in the day.
In
the Demopolis days.
The Demopolis way, baby. Demo. The coach would be like, why are you hitting like that? And I'd be like, I'm just trying to hit it my way. The truth is, I couldn't see the ball because I didn't get glasses until middle school. So I was like, I can't see it coming. But, like, I was like, I'm going to do it my way. If I do it wrong, then if I mess up, this is just how Tyler does it.
It was City League baseball. It's not like it's the MLB.
Oh, my gosh, the coaches, though. They're like, this.
Try and tell that to the dad coaches.
The dad coaches think it's the biggest thing on the history of the planet. And I'm like, there's no way.
I mean, there are some people out there, though, that, like, looks forward to coaching, like Nick Lauderdale. Shout out Nick Lauderdale if he's listening out there. I remember one of the first things he told me about himself whenever we met was because we were talking about, like, what we did, and then I was like, well, what do you want to do? He's like, I want to be the head coach of the Auburn football team. And I was like, dream big, man.
Yeah.
Why dream little? Like, have you all...
You got to commit.
Yeah.
That's been my word lately. Like, I went out the other night and I was like, you know what? Like, it'll just be, I was hanging out with friends. I was like, it'll be a chill night. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to commit.
Yeah.
I
I'ma
like,
have
if
a good
I'm
time.
already like putting on makeup, like, which is rare occurrence for me, I'm like, you know what? All in. But
Yeah.
also like with school and involvement too. Like, if I'm not in it, like, I gotta be, it's just committed or nothing.
Yeah.
No in between for me.
Going all in is scary though. Like I
It
think
is
that's what it
scary.
is that the bigger the risk is the bigger the reward, but also the bigger the consequence. Like if you give it your all, you're just exhausted by the end of it. And like honestly, it took me a while to give everything that I got to like anything that I did.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if I give 50% and I mess up, then like, okay, I only gave 50%. But like,
It's
I
been a
realized I
while.
was missing. It's worthwhile, but I realized I was missing out on it. I was like, if I give 100 and lose, I would be glad that I gave it 100%. Like there's no reason to get 50.
Yeah.
It does
Right.
nothing for anybody. Like you'll never be the best.
I was reading that McConaughey book this morning, and I came across this story he had. So he went to Africa, and it's a long story about why he went to Africa. But while he's in Africa, he was in this village, and this is right after he had shot this movie where he had to pretty much like shave his head and get jacked, and he was challenged by this guy in the village of Africa to like fight him, like wrestle. And what the guy he was with, the dude who was like his guide through these towns and little settlements in Africa, was it's not really about winning or losing. It's about accepting that challenge. Because the dude, I think the guy's name was Michel. It's like Michel. I don't know how they pronounce it in Africa. I have no idea. But like this dude is way bigger than McConaughey. And I mean, McConaughey is over 6 feet tall, like probably not 200 pounds, but I mean, he's jacked at the time. Then you've got a massive African tribesman challenging you to a battle. It's like, if you've got the guts to, fight him or get into that match, like that's saying enough as it is. He gave it his all, and that's what it's about. It's about the experience right there.
Yeah, and I mean, like, literally for real, and I think today was the first time I thought about it, like, getting through this year during a whole pandemic.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my gosh. Why would you not give it your all? The way
Right.
that I give my all to every single person I've ever seen, like, they're like, oh, my gosh, you're acting so happy to see me. And I'm like, I am. Like, seeing another human being is really freaking cool. Like,
Yeah.
it's insane.
With the
I
COVID
also-
semester.
Yeah, and this past year, I was just like, well, while we're in pandemic, recession, borderline civil war, I'm like, well, I'm gonna do something about it. I'm gonna say I tried something new, or I tried to help. Like I wasn't gonna try and leave last year just to the wolves. Like
Yeah,
I was like, you know what? While we don't have all these distractions, like let's go for it.
1,000%.
Yeah, I mean, we all kind of started something new, like
Mhm.
with the pandemic. I mean, that's where this show came
You
from.
get a new passion.
Who would have thought?
Uh-huh.
Like we're on
New
episode
hustles all
30
around.
now.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's crazy to think that. Like I just didn't even think about it whenever I started it, that I'd be, actually interviewing people. Because y'all know me, I love talking to people,
Yeah.
and I'm talking with two of the best people that can communicate with others. So
Thank you,
it's
Jake.
crazy how these things tend to happen. But
Mhm.
I wanted to bring up kind of like how we met, and like not so much about the porch, but like the symbolism behind,
Yeah.
taking a step outside to really have a good conversation with someone. Because
Mhm.
I kind of wanted to bring up the thing that happened at the end of the summer when everyone got COVID.
Oh my god.
So like at that event that we were at, it's like I talked
So
to
reckless.
Julia and Jenny. So shout out those two, because that was like another one of those things at the porch. Like there was no porch, but I was able to step outside, and I talked to JG for like a half hour.
Yeah.
Like I had never had a conversation with her like that, and it's like kind of like how we became friends too.
Mhm.
Because I mean, I don't remember the exact day, but it was just like, there's nothing going on. Let's
Mm-mm.
hang out. It was kind of like before I think everything hit the fan. I don't entirely remember the timeline. Like
Yeah, I think that like the cool thing about our friendship is genuinely, you probably know more about me than 95% of the people on this planet, and that was just so unintentional. Like I never
Mhm.
was like, I'm gonna just tell JP everything about me. But, like,
That-
it
that's
just
the
JP
magic-
makes a space though
it
that
does.
like you just don't like, you just want to be yourself
Mhm.
around him. Like
Yes.
I don't know, it's very
a
welcoming.
space that makes it, and it's because he's 1,000% JP.
yeah.
Like that's what I try to tell people all the time. Like when you are 1,000% yourself, I've been able to meet amazing people, and it's only because like they trust me to be like 1,000%.
Mm-hmm.
And so I
to be
think that, like,
genuine.
yes. And throughout the summer, we were like, it was the summer we were doing Camp Regal. It was already virtual. We were like, look, why not be 100%? Like,
Yeah.
We're on Zoom. Why not be 100% of ourselves in person? Like, if it goes bad, it goes bad. But like,
I get so nervous talking on Zoom. I have no idea how y'all do it.
I kind of get nervous too.
It's hard.
It's just the fact. Oh, every time I like unmute myself to talk, and then someone else starts talking, I'm just like, I'm going back in my shell. Like,
it's
so,
the worst. Like whenever there's like interruptions and stuff like that, or I'll be talking and then someone will like unmute themselves, and it'll be like something super little, but I hear it and then just a bead of sweat immediately.
Yeah.
Like whenever I was talking for Elaney during our meeting,
Yeah.
and our AC unit had gone out earlier that day, and that was like, did y'all notice on Sunday and Monday how it was like
Warm.
70 degrees?
it was
my
felt like
gosh.
tornado season.
It's
It was
scary.
so
how
weird.
It
hard
was like I felt the hot air. My hair was
we're
out
literally.
to
It's
here.
January.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
it's literally January.
Yeah, Alabama weather is, it's not it,
It's
to
awful.
say the least. But yeah, I was talking, and then like I think I stuttered at one point, and it's just I was dripping sweat by the
Yeah.
time that I was done with it.
It happens. It's so exhausting. It's so
Mhm.
exhausting. And being on there for so long. Monday, I was on Zoom from 3 p.m. until 10 p.m.
Oh my gosh!
It
On
was-
Monday?
So long. Yes.
What
Oh my
for?
goodness.
So I had BSU. We have exec at 3.
Mhm.
And then we have cabinet at 4. And then I lead a general assembly at 5. And then 6, I had a meeting I had to do chapter visits for SGA. And then at 7, like I had to meet with my committee before 7:30. That's when we had Senate. And then we had so many packets left. By 10 o'clock, I was just out of here.
Oh my goodness.
And
Like,
you
I was
probably
so
didn't break a
exhausted.
sweat the whole time.
Oh
How do
my
you?
gosh.
How do you
almost
do
went to
this?
sleep. I really don't know. I honestly just be feeling like this is gonna sound so bad. Sometimes when I'm in Zoom, I have the volume all the way down.
Yeah,
So that when
I'm
I
like
talk,
that
I'm
too.
like, I'm the only one here.
Yeah.
That
like,
kind
I'm
of
just
makes sense. I kind of like that.
Like I'll turn it up sometimes, but like even when we're talking about things in class, I'm like, okay, if she's just gonna read the PowerPoint, then I could just look at the PowerPoint myself.
That's what I've had to do.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
I'll have music in the background. If you Zoom with music on, changes the
It's
experience.
fun. It is.
What
fun.
I do, I'm more, I don't, like, is it tactical learner is the word? Like, I really should have like one of those stress balls I always have. Like, I like doing stuff.
I got
Yeah.
one.
Multitasking. Like, I love like putting in headphones in if it's like a lecture heavy class. I don't take
Yeah.
a single note, but I'll do something else because like I'll just focus in on the words and then my actions, I just start doing stuff. But then like, so I'm just in this weird headspace and I just soak it in better that way, honestly. So we all
Honestly, that
different.
changes the game.
Yeah.
Like Zoom has changed the game of how you learn.
Mm-hmm.
It really has. It definitely has not changed the game for the better for me. But if anything, it kind of makes me more motivated because now that I'm in a new major, like I actually care about what I'm learning about.
Yeah.
Junior year too, like
Oh
especially second
gosh.
semester, I finally was like, this is real.
Mhm.
Yes.
Like,
we
it
have a year left.
yeah.
Oh, don't remind me.
I have
What?
I have 4 months barely left.
Oh my gosh.
That's crazy.
I know.
What are we supposed to do?
I have no idea. I have an idea for what we can do though. We're going to go to a quick commercial break. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Live with DJP and Friends on WEGL, and we'll be right back.
Most kings get their head cut off.
Okay, so Sarah, I'm dropping you off at Emily's?
Yep.
And Josh, you're going to?
Soccer, Dad. Soccer practice.
Right. Oh, by the way, I just wanted to let you know when I pick you both up, I'll be wearing my short shorts.
What?
No!
Yep, and my dorky dad hat, and I'm gonna do my dad dance for all your friends. They'll love it!
Seriously? Why?
Because I like my short shorts. Of course, I could be talked out of it if you guys would just buckle up your seatbelts without giving me a hard time.
It's important to get your kids to buckle up for safety, no matter what it takes. And sometimes, all it takes is your parental powers of persuasion.
Okay, we're buckling up.
See, all buckled.
Good choice. I'll just have to do my dad dance at dinner time. What?
No!
Do what you have to make sure your kids are wearing their seatbelts, even on short drives. Never give up until they buckle up. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. Visit safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup for more information.
Unexpected reactions to smart financial decisions brought to you by feedthepig.org.
Well, I finally did it. I opened a 401k.
So you're giving up? Just like that?
Giving up on what?
On getting an inheritance from a distant relative.
Don't you think if there were a billionaire in the family, we'd know about it by now?
Listen to me. We are one phone call away from riding horses on our own private polo grounds. One call from christening yachts, having a butler, using summer as a verb.
How do you figure?
Look, everyone's got a rich uncle somewhere. It's statistics. So the best thing you can do is just prepare for the inevitable.
Right, which is why I thought maybe it would be smart to take control of my finances. You know, start using a budget, get out of debt, set some retirement goals.
Budgets? Debt? You watch your mouth. Retirement shouldn't be a goal for us. It should be a way of life.
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
Most kings get their head cut off.
And we're back. You're listening to Live with DJP and Friends, episode number 30. It's still so crazy just saying 30 episodes, but that's so crazy though about the Reddit thing, like
Yeah.
the Reddit community. Because, I mean, do y'all have Reddit on your phones?
Mm-hmm.
I don't. Okay, I don't know how to keep up with it. Like I got it, I was like, I don't know what to do next.
Yeah, I follow like 20 things, and then every now and then I'll get on it. And then when I get on it, it's usually because I'm searching something specific.
Yeah.
I'm like, Reddit, do your thing. But like, I don't get on it like regularly.
I did not realize how awesome it kind of is though, because you can find anything at all. There will
Bonnaroo
be
Reddit's my favorite. People will be like, yo, I made out with this chick at Dua Lipa. Where Reddit is like, Twitter, do your thing, like Reddit, do your thing. And then they're like, they get their number. They find him, and then they like get the numbers, and they're like,
It's insane. It's a crazy community. Reddit
Who is the community? Who is on Reddit? I feel like it expands beyond.
It's a secret community, I feel like.
Yeah, it's definitely a more low-key one. Like, I didn't really even join Reddit until I think my account's like 50 days old. It tells you how old your account is on your
see, I got
phone.
it end of senior year of high school, and the person like I remember just getting it, and I like didn't log into it for like 2 years, and then I got back on it.
Does anyone use their real name at all?
No, I don't.
wouldn't.
Like
No
one
one
of my old
does?
meme account names.
There's
Those of
some
you who know
sketchy
me know
stuff
what it
on
is.
it. Like,
So
Yeah.
it's like anonymous Twitter.
yeah,
Literally, that's exactly
What?
yeah.
it's like
but-
everyone's private Twitter, but public.
I hate that.
Yeah. But like you can
Danger.
you can figure out anything that you need. Like I remember what I first started using it for was to figure out stuff in video games that I didn't understand.
Yeah.
Like I would just look up Reddit or r/insert video game name, blah 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 mission, and then it's like it'll give me a complete walkthrough. And I mean, I was a kid. I didn't know what I was doing with the video game. I just wanted to figure out how to get through the mission.
Exactly.
But all right, enough about Reddit. I kind of want to talk about like some of the songs because we didn't really make too big of a playlist, but like the song that we're going to be kind of revolving around is going to be Reborn by Kid See Ghost, which is just Kid Cudi and Kanye West. And I love Kid Cudi and I love Kanye West. Who do you don't really like Kanye West music? How do you feel about Kanye?
That's a loaded question.
It is a loaded question.
And it's like different from 2016 to now. Like,
And to be
you know,
honest, I think if you ask me next year, like it'll be completely different. Like
Yeah.
everything I feel about him literally just shifts because he shifts so much.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
his music, I would be lying if I said I didn't love and honor everything that he did.
Yeah.
He is amazing at music. He's so talented.
so creative.
So creative. But that was when y'all played it for me the other night, that was my first time ever hearing that song.
Oh my goodness.
What song was it?
Reborn.
Oh yeah, it was. Sorry, I was thinking of Real Friends. I've been listening to that one a
Oh,
lot
yeah.
today. Real
Yeah.
Friends is so good.
Reborn, I've never that was my first time ever hearing.
Yeah, that album was awesome.
I need to
Kid
listen to
Cudi.
it.
Because I mean, it opens with just the Kid Cudi. I'm not gonna try and make the Kid Cudi hum on the air. Like I can't do that. But like,
That was my attempt.
like
I
it's
like
about the song's just about like rebirth and moving forward. And I mean, I think it's time. I think it's time for a little bit of that at Auburn
Rebrand?
University.
Anyone?
Rebrand, one might say.
Say it.
Reborn or rebranded.
I know. You already know. I know. I think it's time to move forward too. And every time I hear that song, like I've been listening to it for the past couple of days because I'm like, I don't really know like what they're talking about, what they mean. So I looked it up. And it was just talking about like their battle with mental health and anxiety and depression. I was like,
Oh yeah.
shoot.
Cudi is like
He's
he's been so open about it, which is awesome. Seeing a rapper like be real about it, and like having a following around that too. Like a lot of my like tough guy friends like love that, love him, and like love that he's like finally kind of making it.
Someone
you don't
who
have
can,
to like cover it up all the time.
Yeah, someone who can really open up the conversation about mental health.
Yeah,
that's one of the most important things that I think needs to happen. Is like the conversation about mental health does not need to have a negative connotation drawn around it. And I think everyone can agree with that, because like I didn't really even start having like serious, like I don't even have like serious mental health problems, but like it started becoming an actual issue that I had to deal with in college. And I know that's happened for all three of us. Like,
oh my gosh, yes.
It's just you don't expect it, but I mean in college you really do have to take care of yourself. And
there's just no playbook, because like I think about it all the time. Like in high school, we really didn't have any worries. Like if I was depressed, I just went in there and I was like, "Hey, mom, I don't feel good," and she's like, "Okay, I'll cook you something to eat." Like it wasn't really much like a conversation.
Nothing was that deep.
No, everything was surface level, even if it was deeper in high school. And so you get to college and like surface level just doesn't cut it.
Yeah,
it's just not enough. Like whenever I go to chat visits or whenever I go talk to fraternity guys, I tell them, I'm like, I know nothing about fraternities, but what I do know is that y'all need some help when it comes to mental health. Like the way that nobody talks about it, it's just so scary. Like
especially in guys.
Especially in guys.
But that's the porch.
That's the porch.
Yeah. Like I think there's just something so like masculine in owning your baggage, not baggage. I don't, or just owning your troubles.
That is a great way to put it.
Because like the amount, like I just have known too many people that just brush it under the rug till it's too long. I mean, too long, too far. Like it just, someone just opened up a space to get something off their chest years before something bad happens, like it just needs to be open, especially for dudes. Like I'm glad y'all are comfortable like talking about it.
You have no idea.
Yeah.
I remember one of my favorite things about doing Camp War Eagle. Shout out Chris Landry, by the way. I think Chris might be watching, and Melissa, and Mark, and TK. Shout out everyone. Shout out all of y'all. But I remember one of my favorite things during, I think it was Tiger Talk. Is it Tiger Talk 2 that we talked about? SCPS and all the student services. Like Elaney really did kind of carry the team all throughout the summer, I'm not gonna lie, but when it got to the part about student counseling and psychological services, that's the most genuine and most real I could be, because that's the best thing that we have here, like with the dogs, you know.
Oh my gosh, let me tell y'all this, and
tell us.
I don't think it'll get in trouble. I wake up this morning, like I cried thinking about it. And my therapist sends me, because I go to therapy here at Student Council Psychological Services. She shoots me an email. She said, I know how busy you are. I know that things are hectic, but please know that I'm rooting for you. If you need me, like, here's the number. You just call at any time, like, book an appointment. I'm like, for my therapist to send me an email on the day of campaign kickoff and be like, hey, I know you're stressed. Let me know if you need my help. It's just, like, unmatched, unbeatable, and for free.
It's
free service like that.
Yeah, like
that's so cool too, because like since they're on campus, they know the campus culture, what's going on. They're aware of what. Because like I go off campus, and while that's awesome, because it's like I love having my off campus life.
Yeah,
for real. And so, but like I have to give a lot of context to stuff, and like they just already know what's up, you know. So that's
hey,
awesome.
I'm stressed because of this, and she's like, I bet you are. I know you are. Like I know the environment here, and it's just like. I would never get over the fact that it's free. Like people do not understand how much of a blessing it is that you can get free therapy. Like,
and it's not even
sessions?
it's like 10 free sessions per academic year, and then it's unlimited group sessions. And I never tried the group therapy either, because I'm kind of iffy about that. I mean, I can really open up to anyone, but I just haven't been. Because is it still on Zoom? Is the therapy?
When me and my therapist book an appointment, it's on Zoom.
Yeah, I haven't gone since the whole COVID thing. I totally need to go, not even going to lie.
Yes, you do.
Probably shouldn't have said that, because I have a feeling my mom's watching, and I guarantee I'll get a phone call. Mama, I'm doing okay, I promise.
Hey, when I got back in therapy in March, my therapist was like, everyone should be in therapy, whether you're feeling good, whether you're feeling bad. You just need someone to talk. It's like psychological training, essentially. Like whether it's good thoughts, bad thoughts, in between, whatever, it's good to talk about to someone who's trained and like has a degree and studied all this stuff. It's just
I agree.
I don't care what position you're in, it doesn't hurt at all to go.
Being able to unload, because like you can be doing fine or like fine. I'm gonna put quotations around that, but the first time, like if you go to therapy for the first time, because I have a close friend of mine who tried it out for the first time this summer. He had never done it, and he went. And he told me, he's like, why did it take me 20 years to figure out that this is like just one of the best? It's a privilege.
Oh
like
my
it's
gosh,
it's
it is a privilege. Like so many people around the world wish that they had the funding to just get a therapist, and like just being able to talk to somebody and knowing like this is confidential. I could tell you whatever I need to tell them as long as it doesn't put me or someone else in danger. Like it stays between us.
Yeah.
I'm like, girl, let me tell you about my day. She's like, I walk in and I'm like, I really think Dr. So-and-so, I'm like, I really think that today is going to be good. Like, I don't think I really don't know anything to talk about. Crying 20 minutes in.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, I didn't even know I was upset. Like,
Yeah.
So annoying.
It's good to get those emotions out, though, because you don't even realize when they bottle up like that.
How many times do you cry, JP? How often do you cry?
It's been a while, for real. It has been a while. It's been almost a year. Not almost a year, but I can't think of it.
Was it the last time we cried at the summer?
Yeah, that was the worst it's been.
What?
Yeah, I think that's probably when it was. I can't think of another time. I've been too excited and happy about life since then. I just had that weight, you know?
Yeah.
I was carrying that weight, and I was like, well, I don't have my therapist here, but I have two of my closest friends. So I was like, I'm going to drop the weight on them.
Tomato, honestly.
Tomato. Apples to oranges. But you really can't even compare those.
How often do you cry, Mary Frances?
It depends. It's at least once a month. And sometimes it'll be either I saw a Beyonce video of her dancing, and I get so overwhelmed with like the feeling of being a woman and seeing a powerful woman dance, or it's a commercial of some sorts, or it's usually about something that doesn't even happen to me. And January 6th, a week after that, I couldn't stop crying every day, and I'm like, I woke up fine. Like January 6th is the Capitol riots. I don't know why it just hit me. And I'm like, I woke up fine. I woke up with my parents. I woke up with the house over my head. I'm like, why am I like? It's always just something that doesn't affect me that it makes me cry more.
Oh my gosh, I cry. I don't think I've ever gone a week without crying, and it don't got to be anything wrong. Like I will eat.
It'll be happy.
I'll eat some good fried rice, and I'm like, baby.
I mean, I'll get emotional, but I don't start like bawling like I did at the
Yeah, like bawling maybe like every couple of months, but I tear up at the smallest things.
Yeah, like I was watching King of Staten Island last night, the Pete Davidson movie.
Oh yes,
have you
Is
seen
it good?
that?
Yes.
It is so
it's
good.
awesome.
Y'all should I watch that tonight?
Yes.
Oh my
I was
gosh.
gonna watch Spider-Man to the Spider-Verse.
What's the other one?
Spider-Verse is so good. Did you watch it?
That's
Sunday?
my number one favorite movie of all
Yeah,
time.
you were.
Spider-Verse is so good.
That's
what
like
we
your
were talking
favorite
about.
soundtrack album, right?
No. Mine's Black Panther.
Oh my.
Okay.
God.
Yes.
The Black Panther soundtrack.
I found the soundtrack before I even knew what the movie was.
1000%.
And
the way Kendrick Lamar just bodied it for no reason. Like no one asked you.
He didn't have to go that hard.
He didn't.
Yeah.
And
did,
the
though.
soundtrack is good on its own. Like if I never saw the movie,
I still haven't seen the movie, and I'm in love with. No, I know. I don't see any movies for reference.
Oh, if you cry now, you're gonna. Oh my god, you can't watch it now.
But like the Pete Davidson one, do you know much about him though?
I know nothing about the movie, but I know a little bit about like his journey. When he came to Auburn and he spoke, I was like,
huh? Flag on the play.
Who's responsible again?
I love
Did
Pete
it
Davidson.
literally say mental health?
Who allowed this?
He's a big Cuddy fan and is like homies with him.
Yeah,
because
he's got 2 songs in the movie.
He's all
by him.
about like.
True.
Yeah, they do.
Mm-hmm.
The soundtrack to My Life is the opening song. I'm pretty sure, right?
It's Just What I Am. Just What I Am, and the last song is Pursuit of Happiness.
Where can I watch it? Pursuit of Happiness.
It's on
so good.
HBO Max.
I'm watching that tonight.
All right.
Y'all convinced me. I'll let y'all know.
We'll get back into it in just a moment. We got to go to yet another quick commercial break. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Live with DJP and Friends on WEGL, and we'll be right back.
Yeah.
Most kings get their head cut off.
Unexpected reactions to smart financial decisions brought to you by feedthepig.org.
Well, I finally did it. I improved my credit score.
You're kidding, right?
No.
How are we supposed to be the bad boys of electro synth pop if you're out there being responsible? The band is about to be discovered. This is our year.
Yeah, you've been saying that for a while now.
You think anyone in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame was worried about their credit score?
I never really thought that
Of course they weren't. Rock stars aren't supposed to think about that kind of stuff. We're supposed to think about how many guitars we've smashed, write aggressively sensitive power ballads, start questionable fashion trends, tragically break up and blame creative differences.
All right, I thought maybe it was time to take control of my finances, you know? Start using a budget, get out of debt, set some goals.
A budget? Debt? Set some goals? Listen, I knew that we'd have our creative differences, but I was hoping they'd involve a little more scandal.
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
Dave, what are you doing?
Just sending a gift to Dave 2037.
Who?
Me in the future. I save a little money from every paycheck as a gift to Dave 2037, so he can spend it on things like anti-gravity boots or a hologram Doberman, something cool like that. I think Dave 2037 deserves it. He worked hard. What are you getting Steve 2037?
I guess I was thinking Steve 2037 would just fend for himself.
Well, all right, but don't expect to be borrowing my anti-gravity boots.
You want to have money in your future? You got to start saving now. Putting some money from every paycheck into a savings account or contributing to your 401k can make a big difference later. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free ideas and easy ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
Hey, let's just hope Steve 2037 doesn't get his hands on a cold time machine, because he is going to come back here and knock some sense into you.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
Most kings get their head
Got to give another shout out to Gordy and Bo for the Wizard track. That's the
Picture
song.
King as well.
Oh yeah, the king behind the camera. I can't wait to see how those photos turned out that we took yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see our new WEGL t-shirts?
No. Are they
things
sick?
look
You will see
sick.
them.
Ooh.
Shout out Mary Frances.
And Jack. He helped me.
Oh, I thought it was just you. Oh, shout out Jack anyways.
I'm excited to see him. I wish
All
I
right.
could be on Weekly so bad.
I got a question, Tyler.
Oh, no.
You think you got what it takes? Do you have what it takes? I ask everyone this.
I don't know. I think that everything that I have to give comes from other people. Like, I don't know if I have what it takes or if I've surrounded myself with people that were, I don't know. I really don't.
I know exactly what you mean. Like, okay, this is a kind of a pivot, but once you said from other people, it's like, I kind of struggle with like religion and Christianity sometimes, but then I look at other people and I'm like reminded that like what it's about and like who, like how I feel about that stuff. Like it makes me feel better. Like once I take it out of my body and see it in other people, out of my head and into other people's minds, like it kind of helps with that for me.
Yeah.
I don't know if that made sense.
1000%.
It does. Like, so for those of you who don't understand what I just asked Tyler, I like to ask people if they have what it takes and just kind of let their imagination run with it. Like, because it's really just a yes or no question. And I was telling Mary Frances earlier, like, I have that note on my desk. So I have probably like 20 sticky notes on my desk filled with just stuff that I write down whenever I have a thought. And I have one that's a double stack that just has that question. I look at it pretty much every morning for class. Like, you think you got what it takes, huh? And then under that, it's like, yeah, but not all the time. And that's okay. Like, you don't have to always be the one who can go out and make history that day or, like, be the one who's going to be the leader. Like, you don't have to always be it. Like you were saying earlier about giving it your all, that's all you can ever ask, to be the one to accept that challenge.
Oh, my gosh. So Amanda Warren, she's on the campaign as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I told her earlier, I was like, hey, send me something, send me a podcast, send me a video, whatever you want to just get me hyped. She sent me this sermon that Dr. Martin Luther King did called Drum Major. And it's only about 40 minutes. And he talks about how for the first like 20, 25 minutes, he talks about how we all have the feeling of just wanting to be in the front. We want to be first. We want to be remembered. We want to be good. And he talks for 25 minutes about how like that's crazy that we always want to be the first. We always want to be the one that starts something, the one that creates something. And then he goes on in the last 15 minutes and he's like, that's not a bad thing. Like, if you're going to have it, then be the drum major, but I'm a drum major for love, and I'm a drum major for peace, and I'm a drum major for justice, and I'm a drum major for all the things that I care about. And I think that, like, when I think about it like that, I do have what it takes. Like, I have what it takes to lead and do things well, but I also understand that I have what it takes to fail, if that makes sense. Like,
That does make sense.
like I have the ego that it takes to mess myself up. I have the lack of patience that it takes to want to give up when I don't have to. I have the constant thought of like, am I enough? Can I do this well? So I think I have just as much as what it takes to succeed as much as I do have what it takes to fail, which is crazy.
That's the right way to put it, because you got it. Like, you have to be able to fail so you can pick yourself back up.
Yeah.
Like in the Dark Knight trilogy, the Christopher Nolan movies, like one of the themes is like, why do we fall?
Yeah.
So we can pick ourselves back up.
Mhm.
And that's not exactly the quote, but that's kind of the theme. It's like, it's okay to fail. It's okay to get something wrong.
Mhm.
And it's all like, I mean, I don't know. I kind of just lost my train of thought there, but point of the matter is like, it's okay to fail. It's better to get things right. But you know, when you fail, you can learn from it, and then you just come back even harder the next time.
Yeah, because I think I am comprised of, as much as it is about the things that I've won at and succeeded at, the same amount of things that I failed at. Like both
everything I'm not, maybe everything I am.
Yeah.
Another Kanye quote.
That's
it's facts though.
Yeah, I kind of like when people ask me like what I want to do next year. I'm always like, well, I know what I don't want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like where I'm at, like, and that's enough right now because it already draws out some other stuff. And then it just kind of keeps me focused on other things that I don't even need to be focusing on.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good way to start.
And another thing I was thinking about is the what do you live for question. So I'll go ahead and start it off because I've been thinking about this a lot because like this is something I like to ask people a lot all the time. It's like, what is it? Why? What are you doing this for? What's your drive? Like, what's the point? Why are you doing it? And I mean, what I like to tell people is I live to see a job well done. Like, if I'm living my life like the Truman Show, there's always a camera on me, and not like there actually is. I mean, there literally is a camera on me right now. But
I mean, tell your government buddy that.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Where is my phone? I got the phone down, so phone can't even see me right now. But like in the Truman Show, he had no idea. But I mean, he was just kind of doing his thing. But if it just so happens that we are all on camera, I want to be doing what's right. I want to be doing it right, the best of my ability.
Yeah.
Because I don't like if it's boring, that's bad content. And I'm not about bad content. I'm trying to make good content. So that's kind of like the Truman Show. I'm trying to live to see a job well done in this world.
Mm.
You got one for me?
Let me think.
I already kind of know mine.
Yeah, do yours.
Because you asked this before, and I was like, this is kind of how I like literally go about every day. It's just like picking up where I left off or finishing what I started. And whether that's like a homework or like something else that's bigger, you know, like you just got to finish what you started, like whatever that may be.
No,
that's why I woke up today. I'm like, well, I got stuff to do,
Right.
and I got stuff to do, but I got also people to see, people to love,
Yeah.
things to change, like bigger things as well.
I got checklists on
Checklists
checklists.
on
Oh, yes.
To-do lists. Lists. How many times can I do that? Sounds like a little jazz. Okay.
What do I live for?
I know it's a loaded question.
It
Take your
is,
time.
But I think that for whatever comes next, like everything that I do, I'm thinking about, okay, if someone was to come and do the same thing that I just did, is there something I could do to make it easier for them or better for them? Like I always think about the people that come after me. Like
leaving people better than you found them.
Yes. Like my little sister, I'm like, there's so many things that she doesn't have to go through because I've already like had that conversation with my mom, or there's so many things that she shouldn't have to experience because she has an older sibling to call. I didn't have that. Like, I just want to leave, whether that's leaving Auburn better than I found it, whether that's leaving the jobs that I go to, like, for actual money better than I found it, like, going to Campbell Eagle, making sure that, like, I'm leaving as much of me as I can so that the next year, like, when the head counselors come, it's better than they found it. Like, I don't know. It's something about, at some point, I'm going to die. And at some point, I'm going to go. And the only thing that I want left, and the only thing that I want people to say is, like, Tyler made it easier for me. Like, I could do something better, quicker, more accessible because of something that he did, regardless of what it is.
That's a beautiful response.
Love that.
That was very good. You got to leave that footprint that you can plant a seed in and grow a tree out of it.
My mom is like, she was like born and raised Southern Baptist, but is now like a pretty cool woke like Southern lady at the same time. And I just love hearing her like life advice. And she's always like, there's something like, because sometimes I'm like I'll say, I'm like, Mom, like these people are coming out of the woodworks acting like they care about me or blah blah blah, or like about this thing I care about or this. And she's like, well, there's something about the spark. And she's like, don't hate the she's like, I forgot what she said, but she was like, basically, don't hate on the spark in a cuter Southern way. And I was like, yeah, you know what, you're right. Like,
it is something about the spark.
Yeah, like it might be small, but it's something to get started and build from.
1000%.
And you can't, if you just blow that out, then where was that? You know, you never know where that spark was going to go.
90% of the time, adults know what they're talking about.
Sadly.
Yeah.
Sad to say it. It took me a while to admit it.
Yeah.
Like, not sad because like it's a sad thing at all. Sad because if I would have recognized that earlier in my life, so much would have been easier.
Or just like some things just hold true. Like there's a reason like stuff works and stuff doesn't. And definitely like they're not always 100% right, but they got a concept right that we could build from to make it better for today.
I mean, think about it. Like, nothing in Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s head when he was going through that sermon was like, I'm going to make this for Tyler Ward for when he runs for president. Like, I don't know why that was my impression. I'm sorry, man. But
rest in peace.
Rest in peace. But nothing about that was like, he had me in mind. Like, there's no way that he had me in mind. Like, but still, I could take his sermon right now and apply it to my life, and I could take that same sermon and give it to somebody in 50 years, and it'll mean the same because, like, the message doesn't matter. Like,
absolutely,
the context may be different, but, like, the message still holds true no matter what.
I agree. That's beautiful. All right, we're going to go into one last commercial break. We're going to come back, and we're going to talk about your platform.
Yes, sir.
We haven't even gotten to that. I thought we were going to do it way earlier, but
we're doing it
we had bigger things to talk about.
Bigger things. The mental health conversation. You have no idea how happy I am that we got to talk about that.
Me too.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Live with DJP and Friends, and we'll be right back.
Most kings get their head cut off.
As a mother, you don't want to have to worry about this bill is coming, but then she needs this chemo. That's a decision you shouldn't have to make.
El que San Jude no cobra ni un centavo para nosotros significa quitarnos todo ese estrés, esa preocupación y podernos enfocar en nuestra hija.
That was the first thing I was like, how are we going to do this? When St. Jude told us that we didn't have to pay a single bill, I was like, wow. They pretty much have saved us.
It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders, and now your focus is supporting this child.
There is not another hospital like St. Jude. The patient care is unmatchable. It saved my life. It saved my daughter's life. It saved our family.
Hey, Dr. Phil here. I help people solve difficult and trying personal problems every day on my TV show, but there's one problem that's just got me stumped: childhood hunger. Nearly 16 million children in America struggle with it. That's 1 in 5 kids who may not know where their next meal is coming from, despite the fact that there's more than enough healthy, nutritious food out there to feed them all. Now, I don't know about you, but that is unacceptable to me. Luckily, the Feeding America network of good people is out there collecting surplus food and giving hope to hungry children and their families at local food banks all across the country. But let's face it, they can't do it without your help. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Most kings get their head cut
back. You're on with Live with DJP and Friends. Accompanying me tonight is Mary Frances Garner and SGA candidate Tyler Ward.
Yeah.
All right, so we were just talking about a little bit of live music, specifically Ultra Light Beam by Kanye West. We've talked a little bit about Kanye tonight, but I saw Chance the Rapper in concert in 2017 at Hangout Fest, and I remember he did Blessings. Like he
oh my
did
gosh,
both.
was this right after Coloring Book?
Yeah, this summer. It was like the Coloring Book tour.
No.
And I will never forget like the amount of just beauty in the crowd. That's the best way I can say it. There was so much unity, and like with Ultra Light Beam and Blessings, because they kind of go well together with that like religious feel to the music. And I mean, that's something I've been trying to do too with doing live music. Like I'm doing live music on the show this Saturday. I'm super excited about doing that because I got this new like effect for my guitar, and I'm trying to make my guitar sound like a giant. Well, not a giant, but like I'm trying to find a way to make my electric guitar sound like a harp, which doesn't make much sense.
Dude, we had a harp at Christmas Eve service.
Oh, I bet that was awesome.
I was like,
I bet that was insane.
Like Florence and the Machine, how she has it all in all her songs is.
What inspired that? A harp.
The harp? Well, okay, so the pedal that I have, it's literally the size of this little foam football, and it's a reverb pedal. And it's got 4 settings. So it's got a room setting. So like you'd be playing the guitar in a room, like a wide open room, because reverb is that like hallway sound effect.
Yeah.
And the second one is hall. And then I'll skip the third because that's the one that's the most important. The fourth one is plate. I don't really know what that means. Sorry, I'm not super educated on music effects. But the fourth one or the third one it's the church sound effect. And like I used to play guitar at mass whenever I was in school, like at Christ the King back in the day. Like me and like 2 or 3 other guys and like the main choir lady would play our guitars every Wednesday morning at church. But like thinking about that and just the way that the tone that it comes out of the amp, like because I got a whole new setup through Christmas break, and like I've found a sound, like I found a signature sound with this guitar, and I cannot wait for the people on the air to hear it, because I haven't really perfected it. I haven't played my guitar hardly at all recently, but live music on the DJP show coming to you this weekend. And what I was going to bring it back into with the Ultra Light Beam is, what do you like more, live music or studio recorded music? It's a difficult one.
I mean, I definitely like live, but there's just so many not new, but branches of genres within stuff these days that like honestly sound great in studio. Like there's a lot of the electronic and a lot of the hip, like new wave hip hop stuff is just truly more of it was a studio experience while they're making it. So it was almost meant for those years.
Yeah.
But there's just something about live music as well that like is very sending. But so I just say it depends on the genre for me, truly.
This is about to sound so weird. And so, like, it might not make sense, and then I'll take it back if it doesn't. I think that if it is an artist whose art is singing, then I think I would prefer them to do live. If it's a singer who just who just makes art, I would rather do it in the studio audience. So, like, Ariana Grande, she is a singer who just happens to make art.
Yeah.
Like, art is just on the back end. Like, so I like to hear her live music more than I like to hear her, like, I don't know. Studio stuff.
Yeah, it's like when it's edited, I feel like it sounds weird.
Yeah.
Or like, let me think of another example of an artist that would be good studio, but I don't. SZA was made for the studio. Live could be good.
SZA is the close your eyes, hold your chest kind of reaction.
Like live?
Yeah.
Yeah, she like sure. I never want to listen to her live.
Yeah.
Like whenever I think about concerts that I want to go to, she's not number one on my list. But whenever I think of like 10 albums I could not live without, Control is.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh no, it's just those artists.
Childish Gambino is the master of being able to do it
Both.
all, really. He can do anything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have you seen him? You've seen him in concert,
live,
right?
yeah.
Have you seen him in concert? You saw him at Bonnaroo, right?
Mhm.
That was the same summer that I saw him.
Dude, and y'all, I hate myself saying this now, but I literally was just going to see him sitting down chill before Fish. Like I was there just trying to get a place for Fish.
Wow.
And I was like, as soon as he played the first song, I was like, wait a minute, why did I underestimate Gambino's show like that? Because I was just trying
to underestimate.
I thought you were going to
that
chill.
was your first mistake.
I did not chill.
Oh, that was easily one of the most beautiful concerts I've ever seen.
Really?
Yeah, because it didn't start on the stage. He started in the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
He starts like on a stage in the crowd, like in the middle of the crowd, and then walks down the aisle thing that they always have at big concerts, and just like seeing the way all the people were like trying to reach out to him is just unlike anything I've seen before. And I have a couple photos. One of my favorite photos I've ever taken was actually taken at his concert. I don't remember what song he was performing. I think it was Me and Your Mama.
Mm-hmm.
You know that one from Awaken My Love? Oh,
the
so
intro
good.
song, of course.
Awaken My Love is so good.
Oh, it's so
All
good.
of
That and Because the Internet. Oh
Which
my
one's
gosh.
your favorite?
Because the Internet. Ooh, that's a difficult one. Flight of the Navigator, probably. That one just makes you feel something. It makes you feel a certain type of way. Life the Biggest Troll is the one that speaks to me the most. I'll tell y'all why after the show, but that album is just beautiful. All the music he makes is just absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Mary Frances walked in while I was playing Childish Gambino on the radio earlier.
And
I was getting into it. Like
I said, okay. It's like walk-up song.
Did you hear me singing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Any of those would be a good walk.
Oh, yeah. It was the Palisades. All right. I've been jabbering too much. Let's talk about accessibility, accountability, and inclusion.
Gosh.
You've been a pro at this all day.
I know,
Hit it home. Hit it home.
All right, guys.
For
Knock
people
it
who
out of
don't
the
know,
park.
elections was kicked off today. So
Yes.
first day of giving his spiel. So
Yes.
It's showtime, ladies and
Yep.
gentlemen.
It's showtime, ladies and gentlemen.
Up on deck, we have Tyler Ward to go
That's
for.
me. My name is Tyler Ward, and I'm running for SGA president because I believe in our ability to go forward. And it's crazy because literally everything that we talked about during the show is kind of like what I want to focus on, whether that's making sure that things are accessible to every single student that walks in, whether that's mental health resources. A lot of people don't even know how much student counseling and psychological services have helped students. And so, like, even if that means me going to a different place and telling them how much it's helped me, if that's what I need to do, then that's fine. But, like, I just want to make sure that students have access to everything, whether that's menstrual products on campus, whether that's LSAT, prep. I know whenever I went to go stay for my LSAT, those tests are so expensive. I'm like, how is anybody supposed to, I don't know. It's just a lot of different things. Accountability is another one. A lot of people don't know what SGA does, why we do it, who we do it for, when we do it, like nothing about it. And I just want to change that. Like, we are still college kids. And so, like, if we have to put things into a perspective where college students will take it in, then that's what we need to do. And then inclusion is kind of my favorite one. There's been so many times where I walked in and I'm just the only black student in class. I walked into a biology class and it was me and 2 other black people out of like 300. And I was like, something has got to change.
Yeah.
Like, imagine walking in and only seeing like 2 people that look like you. It's just.
That's like when I'm a chick, I walk in, I'm the only chick, I genuinely get scared.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. And it's
Yeah.
not like everyone in the room can be so nice.
Mhm.
It's not what, like, that's just not what it's about.
There's just something about presence.
Yeah.
Like, my therapist was telling me the impact of presence on people, and it's just more psychologically and it literally physically affects you too.
Yeah.
It's just
And honestly, that is my platform in a nutshell. Is just to be more present, like in whatever way that I can. Like, win or lose, I just hope that I've been so authentic throughout this time that people are like, okay, even if he didn't win, he cares about people, and I can go to him and talk to him about anything. Like, that's my goal, and I feel like I do that with all my relationships. I feel like I've done that with all my involvement, but like, that's just what I want to do in general. I want to make sure that Auburn students know that I love them so much. Like, I really, really do. That's all.
we know, don't worry.
Well, we know. And we're at what?
Especially y'all too.
What's the enrollment for African Americans? Like 5%, 4%?
I just know we got 9,000 African American chicks. Females, sorry. I just say chicks a lot.
Chicks is fine.
Is it 9,000 in total?
Yeah, out of like 35,000 for undergrad and grad.
Oh my
Did I sound right?
I think it's less than 9,000 because
Yeah.
I think it's like 3,500.
Oh my.
Wow.
Because
Wait,
I
no,
remember-
900. Sorry, 900. That's
Yeah,
it. It is.
900.
Sorry, my bad. Oh my God. Yeah, it's literally 900. And
crazy.
It's something's got to change. I was telling my dad about how one of your platform forms is literally just doing more recruiting in like all over the state, especially in lower income schools, because I look around and I'm kind of like, yes, everyone has I'm not going to downplay anyone's story or struggles, but there just needs to be a little bit more exposure with some kids around here. I feel like you need to know that like this wasn't the path of life that everyone walked down. It doesn't look like yours, and you need to be aware of that.
Auburn is such a bubble. And the more
the
that
loveliest
we feel
village
that
on the
bubble,
plains.
yes, the lovely yes, we're a lovely village on the plains, but like to me, when I think of the Auburn family, I just don't think about like me and all my white guy friends going to a football game.
No.
Like when I think of the Auburn family, I think of things like this. Like I think of coming on a radio show with my best friend. I think of things like the porch. I think of the way that me and JP met to go on the porch where we had that talk about mental health was through Camp War Eagle. The only way we wanted to do Camp War Eagle is because we wanted to meet freshmen. The only reason we wanted to meet freshmen is because we think that people are cool and we want to meet people. Like, that's what I think of when I think of the Auburn family. Like something where a freshman orientation program can have me on a radio show with one of my best friends. Like, it's not the whole ditzy
Eagle flying down the field. No. Those are fun, but like,
it's that's so cool though.
Okay, that is
The
Eagle was cool, but like, that's just not what Auburn is. It's just more than that. Like, and we could fill more pockets of that in the Auburn family, I think, and it's gotta be filled.
Like I said it in my campaign speech today, I was like, 125 years ago, women weren't even allowed on this campus. Like, we wouldn't even be able to be in the same room. And then like 60 years ago, that was the first time a black student came on campus. And then like 20 years ago, the Auburn SGA, Spectrum is the gay straight alliance on campus. And like 20 years ago, the Auburn SGA was like, y'all don't get to be an organization. Y'all don't get to be a club. Like
20 years ago?
20 years ago.
Wow.
Oh my God.
I did not know that.
And it's like when things like that are happening, it's like we can progress so much. Like, like the fact that we are in this room right now is just a testament to how much like we've grown, whether that's with like enrollment or even with Weagle. Like we grow so much. Like going forward isn't even something that's like new or fresh. Like is what you're gonna go for. Auburn is gonna have to go forward, whether they like it or not. Like we're gonna have to have more black students on campus, or you're just gonna get left in the dirt. Like that's just how it is. Like so, I'm not trying to make this foreign concept of going forward. I'm just like, if we're gonna do it, then why not do it right?
Yeah,
why not do it well? Like,
it's time to
and
go
you're putting
forward.
some gas to it. I think.
Yes,
like
accelerate it.
I
like,
really have seen some like, especially over the past like year, like individually and at a like bigger level in Auburn, like whether just in so many ways people have really grown mentally and have expanded their knowledge and experiences. And I'm like, all right, that's good, but like, let's keep going. Like, keep going. Yeah.
Like
why stop?
Exactly. Like, why?
Like, there are a lot of. I went and I talked to Farmhouse before this, and the guy was talking about like, honestly, like when I first met Tyler, I was like, we were way too we're two completely different people. Like, there's no way we would get along. And I sat down with him for 30 minutes, and I was like, okay, I want to tell him everything. And like that's what I want to be. Like, no one's asking for us to come in here and have all the same political views, and no one's asking us for coming. Like, as long as you love people and I love people, that's okay. But sometimes like, a lot of people's idea of what loving people is so distorted because of like what they learn from their parents or like what they see on TV. And I'm like, if we sit down and we look at the same page of facts and walk away with two different plans of like how we succeed, that's okay. The problem is either I don't be looking at the facts, y'all don't be looking at the facts, we've been making things up. Like, especially with social media helps because it like you can relate to people so much, but it's also like, there's so much distorted information out there that I'm like, you just watched that commercial and took away a whole different point of view, and you don't even know that nothing they said was true. Like, not a single percent. It just sucks.
I was in, I think it was organizational communication earlier, and they were showing us the media bias chart.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my gosh. Do you know what chart I'm talking about? It's
no,
like,
but I mean, I can picture something like it in my head.
Yeah, and I mean, there's like probably 100 different like media websites that they have on this chart, but like in the very middle, at the very top, in the very center is AP. I didn't even know what AP was until I started taking liberal arts class.
Press, baby.
I
had
almost
no
did
clue
a
what that
journalism
was.
minor, and I took that like AP test.
That was my minor.
Yeah.
The AP test, it did kick my butt. It did indeed.
I kind of killed it. I kind of
Really?
wish I did more, but
Yeah.
Yeah, whenever I was sitting in class, I was looking at like articles on both, and I was like, what's the meaning of all this?
yeah.
The same story written by two completely different people. And like, the thing is,
It's amazing how
whenever
things packaged, how
everything's
things are packaged. Yeah.
Yes.
I keep going.
And
Sorry.
the thing with Auburn students is like, we're all the same way. Like, we all do different things on game days, and we all do different, like, we are all on Zoom in different ways. And so like, I try to remind people when I talk about going forward, I don't want to change anything about like what we do. Like, there are adjustments that can be made in a lot of different areas, but like, I think at the core of who Auburn is, like, I really do love it. Like, We have the right mindset. We're driven people. We're underdogs. I love underdogs. And I feel like Auburn is just such an underdog university. Like, people are like, oh my gosh, I forget about them so much. And I'm like, yeah, baby. We got the number one equestrian team. Don't tweet it. Like,
yeah.
Like
because we believe in Auburn and we love it.
There was like, I don't know, Auburn just really does surprise me in the good ways every day, I think. And so it's like, I want the best for it. So like,
I love it enough to want better.
Right. And it's like, I almost went to Alabama and there's just too many flaws there that can't be fixed, that like just are too institutionalized, that just, it can't, like, you can't even want to try and like change it.
Yeah.
Because it's so exhausting. And then here it's a little bit, they're a little bit more receptive to change at an institution level.
We have a big voice. People do not, like, students have a huge voice. Like, we do call a lot of the shots. More of the shots than people think. Like,
this is one of the prime examples right here.
One of the prime examples. Like, we didn't need to ask for permission. We don't, like, no one has to rewatch before we post. Like, we have freedom of speech. Like, students have a lot to say so. They just need to know where to put that energy to. Like, people have a problem. They don't know who to tell. They don't know who to take it to. Like, and I think that's what I really, really want to change, is that people know that, like, SGA, people are like, so how much power does the SGA president really have? And I'm like, we only have as much as, like, y'all give us. Like, if I don't talk to students, I have no power.
Meet them halfway is what you got to do.
Meet me halfway.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Two-way
right
street.
on the borderline.
Yes.
Is
You
where
tell
I'm-
me, and I go tell the board of trustees, like, y'all want something else to eat? I'll let them know.
Yeah.
Can I get y'all a restaurant? Probably not, but I'll go let them know y'all said y'all want something. Like,
yeah.
It's just small stuff like that.
Yeah, the voice for the students.
The voice for the students.
All right, I believe that is all that we have time for today.
Yes.
Thank you, Tyler. Thank you,
y'all.
Mary Frances, for being on the
Thank
show.
you.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching Live with DJP and Friends, episode number 30.
Yo, yo, yo.
We're going to be back this Saturday, 2 p.m., episode 31, DJP, Astronate, live music. It's going to be awesome. I have been looking forward to this day for a very long time.
Excited. I know.
We got
I'm
the
excited
new
for you.
technology. Oh, my gosh. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you guys on Saturday, 2
Bye, y'all.
p.m. Be there, be square, but don't be a square. Thanks again for listening to Live with DJP. Make sure to stay tuned for the second half of tonight's show, featuring all the songs that we talked about in the first hour. If you like the music and you want to hear more, feel free to check out the Live with DJP and Friends playlist on Spotify. Thanks for listening and enjoy the music.